mind of its own.
Yeah, all right. Okay, we're back.
Okay, so anyway, I'm going to tell this real quickly because I think this is important. And here's what happened. I drove to my buddy's house, who I ended up working for. He had a horrible day at the office, and he was out in the back of his house staining his deck. I said, "Why did you become a real estate agent?" I said, and he said to me, he says, "What'd you do today?" I said, "I drove in traffic to my office job. I was on the phone for 8 hours a day. Really, didn't change a whole lot of people's lives. Didn't make any more money today than I made yesterday. Wasn't able to create a better life for my family, and nothing's different today than it was yesterday." He says, "Okay." He says, "I had a closing today. I rode my motorcycle out to the coast. I came back home, had lunch with my girlfriend, and then or my wife, sorry, and now I'm staying on the deck." I said, "Okay, where do I sign up?" So it went.
Yeah.
It was June of 1998. Got my license in August of 1998, and then in the first 14 months in the business after that, I sold 77 houses because I finally
Wow.
realized. Yeah, because I finally realized that, like, you know what? I'm not gonna limit myself mentally, emotionally, or psychologically. And so, anyway, sorry about the diatribe here, guys. But for me, if you're having call reluctance, if you're not willing to get on the phone, you just have to make an agreement with yourself that what happened in the past is in the past, and that you're gonna go back and find out what issues those were that are preventing you from having the mindset you need to have to be the super successful person you deserve to be. And then you're gonna go ahead and you're going to go ahead and do a little work on that and tell yourself the opposite of whatever it is and tell yourself the truth. But the truth is whatever the opposite of that is. And then you're just going to get on the phone and you're just going to take, your lumps until you get good. But, the byproduct of that is that, if you get on the phone and you make enough phone calls and work hard enough and get where you need to get, eventually you have enough money to hire an ISA and you won't have to make calls anymore. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's my long story here. I
No,
apologize.
that was great, and that was really insightful because I'm sure that there are several folks there out there that could identify it, myself included.
Mm-hmm.
What you kept on saying is the story you tell yourself, the story you tell yourself, and I'm a big believer in that, Wally. It's what we tell ourselves is what we believe. Either you're right or wrong, it's still going to be true in your mind. And then a lot of us identify ourselves based on other people's opinions,
Mm-hmm.
which is unfortunate. So I'm glad that you touched on that because we don't have to believe what other people think of us or what has happened in the past has happened in the past.
We don't even
Um,
have to believe what we thought of us either.
right? Yeah, yeah. In
Right?
fact, yeah, the story that we tell ourselves about ourselves, even.
Mhm.
So I've experienced call reluctance myself, and I'm gonna admit that yeah, it's because of a lot of the things that you touched on,
Mhm.
and it's really empowering though when you can get over that reluctance, get on the phone and create some productivity, and get those wheels turning and moving those big rocks.
Mhm.
And that's where I want to kind of segue in is now once we get over that call reluctance, now we're up against a challenge of speaking to the prospect, the suspect, subscriber, whatever we call them, and creating those good relationships versus just sounding like everybody else, going for the appointment, and then if we don't get the appointment or if we don't get the right answer, then we're just out of the call because again, there's I think, two levels of call reluctance. The first one is picking up the 300-pound phone, and then the second one is when I get an objection, I am just going to freeze up, or maybe I feel like I'm being offensive to the person. You know how we have that little inner dialogue that tells us all the bad things that aren't really actually happening, but we
Mhm.
just believe is true, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and then try to get off the phone with these people as quickly as possible,
Right.
you know.
So real quickly, I want to just button up
Yeah.
the last part of the conversation. If you have call reluctance, you need to get a book called Taming Your Gremlin by Rick Carson. Okay. And basically, it's just a surprisingly simple method for getting out of your own way, called Taming Your Gremlin by Rick Carson. And it just talks about all the terrible, horrible, stupid things we say to ourselves on a day over day basis, that gremlin in our mind that keeps us from enjoying a peaceful, happy, enjoyable, profitable, loving, incredible life. Okay. And if you truly want to overcome call reluctance and be a super successful real estate agent, it's a must read. And I'm just going to be frank with anybody who's on the phone. If you're not willing to get to the point where you can pick the phone up on a consistent basis and make calls, your business will never grow.
Right. Right.
Plain and simple. People are like, oh, I just want to do business with my sphere. I mean, your sphere is a limited number of people, and it's a much slower way to grow your business, unless you have a crazy sphere, a huge sphere. So if you want to continue to grow your sphere and get to the point where 50% of your business comes from your sphere, but 50% comes from other people, and then you can see exponential growth in your business, then that's what you got to do. So taming your gremlin. So just to answer your question, this is why I said earlier, if you think about it like building relationships and not getting an appointment, it has an entirely different meaning, right? You're looking to get on the phone and find people who want to have a relationship with you. And quite honestly, if you're going to secure somebody's business and get to the point where they're going to get them to list your home, you got to have a relationship with them. And that all starts when you first pick up the phone.
I love
right?
that. Yeah, I love that.
Right?
That you said that. Calling people to see if they want to build a relationship with you. What a great mindset to have when you call people.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh gosh, I got to call these leads to get an appointment.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for
You know?
right. I mean, listen. We can do some math here for those of you who are a little more mathematically inclined. It's if you're good on the phone, and if you take warm leads out of it, you're gonna have to have somewhere between 43 and 60 contacts to get a sale.
You guys hear that?
Okay, 43 to 60 contacts. If you're really good, it's going to take about 43 contacts to get a sale. If you throw in your sphere, it's about 35. If you're not as good, it's going to be about 60 contacts to get a sale. I mean, those are.
So you're talking contacts when you speak to somebody, not dials, but actually speaking to somebody.
Hey, I noticed you had submitted a request to get the value of your home on, mydallashomefinder.com. And, the reason I was calling, I wanted to find out, are you interested in getting a broad value for the value of your home, or would you like a specific value of what it will sell for in today's marketplace? I'm not interested. You suck. Yes, I'm interested. I didn't click the right button. Any conversation that ensues like that, that's a contact.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. Okay. So that's just to, and I appreciate you clearly defining that for our audience because, some folks will have that question of what do we define as a contact? So
if I call and talk to the person whose name is attached to that phone number, that's a contact.
Okay.
I'm not interested. I'm not ready. I don't recall clicking that button, even though we know they did. That's a contact. You talk to,
Sure.
the wrong person. You get an answering machine, leave a message. You talk to mother, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, aunt. Somebody who's not related to the person as a potential homeowner, not a contact. You get on the phone, you talk to somebody, you make an offer of services to them. It's a contact.
Okay. There you
Listen,
go, folks.
Yeah, if you're on a dialer and if you called all day, you'd probably make you'd probably make 30 to 40 contacts a day, and
Oh yeah.
you'd probably make 10 to 15 substantive contacts. But if you can get to the point where you make 5 to 10 actual contacts a day,
That's good.
I mean,
That's really good. Yeah.
in a week, in 5 days of calling, you should be able to get a sale opportunity out of 5 to 6 days of calling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Give or take.
Well, the numbers don't lie, right?
Mm-hmm. No, and if you guys haven't read this, there's a great what do you call it? There's a great study that the Keller Institute at Baylor did. It's called "Is Cold Calling Dead?" It talks about a cold calling study that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And it took them 60 contacts to get an appointment and 120 contacts to get a sale. And that was just straight up ice cold calling neighborhoods, talking to people, not expires, withdrawals, FSBOs, circle prospecting around just solds, just listeds, warm market, home eval leads. That's straight up picking up the phone book and smiling and dialing.
Who did that study again?
The Keller study. It was the Keller group.
Okay.
It was the Keller Institute at Baylor. I think the name of the survey was called "Is Cold Calling Dead?" So, and you can do a lot better than that when you add in different lead sources and you're good enough on the phone.
Oh yeah.
So
you get way higher conversion. And if you guys didn't notice, every time Wally brings something up like that, I'm taking notes and I'm writing it down because anytime he gives any kind of information where, you've got some good value. I would definitely write it down. That's what I'm doing. So thanks,
Right.
Wally.
So yeah. So I mean, somewhere between 43 and 60 contacts to get a sale is what you're looking at. On the seller side, on the buy side, probably somewhere between 10 and 15. So
Okay.
buyers are a lot easier to work with. If you look at the NAR report, the NAR profile on buyers and sellers, you're looking at they're saying that 87% of buyers only interview one person. On the seller side, only about 70% of sellers interview one person. So,
Hmm.
it's a lot more competitive. That's all. So,
That's great that you're giving us these numbers because I had a team leader ask me earlier, is this going to be for buyers or seller agents today? I said it's for all real estate agents, and these numbers that you just provided in my mind now, I actually have a target, and I'm a goal-driven guy. I'm not gonna
mhm.
I'm squirrely if I don't have goals. So now, thanks to you, I know that I just have to at least speak to 60 people on a seller side, and would you say 15 to 20
I
on
mean,
the?
on the buyer side, it could be as little as 10 if you're experienced, but
Hmm.
I would say 10 to 15 on the buy side, 43 to 60 on the sell side.
Okay,
You know,
okay,
and if you want, and that's how you kind of create. And listen, it's different for everybody. But if you just track your numbers on a day over day basis, you know, and you would know how many contacts you needed to make a sale. And then if you can, if you get a couple months worth of contacts and figure out how many sales you made, then you just go about your business. You're like, hey,
KPIs.
I know I need to talk to 47 sellers to get a sale. So
I love it.
you just make sure that you get your 47 contacts in over whatever period of time you're going to get a sale, and that's it.
That's awesome. In our space, we call that KPIs. So,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
yeah, those are all key performance indicators, right? Dials are KPIs. Uh, Contacts are KPIs. Nurtures can be KPIs, and they can also be KRIs, key results indicators, right?
Sure, sure.
Appointments are key results indicators. So, if I were you, I would keep track of the number of dials I made each day, number of contacts I made each day, number of nurtures I created each day, number of appointments I set each day. And I would keep track of that until the cows came home. And then every month I would look at it and I would say, oh, I did all this, and I averaged this many dials, this many contacts, this many nurtures, this many appointments a day. This is how many sales I got.
Yeah.
Do the math, then you know how many of each of those you need to get a sale. And then you
And
just
that's
go,
all good stuff. Yeah,
yeah,
that's good stuff.
then it's all scalable from there. Okay, well, I know if I need 40, 45 contacts to make a sale, if I do 90 contacts, that's going to be two sales, right?
I love it. And just FYI for everybody, since you are on this call or on this training video, our system actually tracks all that for you.
Hey, ding,
So
ding.
voila, isn't that great, right?
Winner, winner,
Uh,
chicken dinner.
that's right, technology at its finest. So,
Hmm.
I did bring up that I had a team leader talk about, is this for seller agents or buyer agents? And I said it's for both. And I think really, what the desire is out there amongst our clients is, what are they initially saying to the leads on the phones for these home valuations or for these buyer leads that are coming in through PPC? What's their initial opening, I guess, because we have scripts in the system which are easily found within the lead profile, but we've got an expert on today, so let's kind of go off of off of those scripts, and unless that's what you do verbatim, I don't know, Wally. I
I'm not.
mean,
These are the same scripts. These are the same scripts that I used, 20 years ago. So,
here we go, guys. Yeah,
I mean, there's some changes and some variations, but
sure.
so listen, it takes somebody about anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds to go through the mental Rolodex in their mind to figure out if they know who you are when you're calling or not. Okay? So, it's hard to, because, there are other scripts out there like calling expireds. Hey, this is Wally calling from ABC Realty. The reason I'm calling is that your home is expired in the MLS. I wanted to find out when you were going to be interviewing agents for the job of getting your home sold. I've already made an offer to them. They're still figuring out if they know who I am. You know what I'm saying? They hear realty, they're like ding ding ding.
Right.
The shield goes up. So, you
Yeah.
listen, I'm like, hey Bob, it's Wally from ABC Realty, or you can say mymissourihomefinder.com or whatever it is, whatever your website is.
Yeah.
This is Wally calling from mymissourihomefinder.com. The reason I'm calling is you recently inquired about an online home evaluation. Bob, let me ask, are you more interested in a broad range of your home's value or a specific price that your home would sell for in today's market? So what are the
Boom.
possible responses? Yeah, I am. No, I'm not. Uh, I didn't click on anything.
Yeah,
Now,
wrong number. Who is
wrong
this? Right.
number. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So if you want to, you can insert something in here. You can insert something to the effect, oh, geez, I'm sorry about that. Listen, a lot of times when I'm on different websites, sometimes I click buttons, I don't realize that as well. And I can appreciate that. Could somebody else in your house may have requested the value of your home? And it's not uncommon that sometimes neighbors do this stuff too, right? Because they think they're going
Hmm.
to find out what their neighbor's home is worth. Because I know I've got that kind of free time where I can go online and go figure out what my neighbor's homes are worth. And I carve out a good half hour a day to go on the places like this and find out what my neighbor's homes are worth because I got nothing better to do. But kidding, of course, but other people do that, right? So but there's people that do that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So you just want to soften the blow a little bit, and then if they don't say anything, and if it's a no, or they don't say broad, or they don't say specific, you can soften it a little bit and say, listen, look, the reason I'm asking is, look, if you were to sell, is getting the most amount of money for your home important to you? Now, look, we're speaking in hypothetical terms here, right?
Right.
So, the reason I ask is we have a proven, repeatable system backed by market research. Gets homeowners as much as up to 18% more money for their home than the methods used by traditional real estate agents. When could I come by and take a look at your home and show you how I could get you up to 18% more for your home than what other agents can get for you? It's not going to take a lot of time. There's no cost or obligation associated with it. But at least it will prepare you for when you are ready to go ahead and sell. What's better for you, weekdays or weekends, right?
I love it.
So that's just the script right there. Very conversational. I'm speaking very hypothetically. Listen, I'm really not interested in getting the value of my home right now. Listen, I can appreciate that. Look, there's no obligation whatsoever to do that. Again, it's free service. There's no pressure. And the worst case is you'll have a better idea of where you stand when your home will sell. Plus, while I'm there, I can give you some inexpensive ideas on what to do, or even tell you what not to do to get the most amount of money for your home. Things you have to do and you don't have to do in selling your home. So that and then I'll also go over what the various expenses are that are associated with getting your home sold. So precisely what you'll have after the sale, or whatever your future plans are at that point. I'm free this Saturday at 2. Would that work for you? Something to that effect.
I
So,
love it.
statistically speaking, you'll get the sale, the appointment, whatever, after getting through 4 no's. And so at this point, I've gotten at least 2 or 3, you know?
I love it. Yeah, Wally. I mean, you create rapport. You get to the point, and you're also going in leading with open-ended questions, which is really good. And then you tie them down when you need to tie them down with the yes or no, because you already know what the answer is going to be, right?
Yeah, I'm just using the script there. The goal for me, a good call is 4 no's or an appointment.
Oh, and one thing too, just for anybody who's on this training today, if you notice Wally isn't reading from a script, he's not, as it's all internalized, and then some of you might believe that story. Well, he's been doing it forever, that's why. Well, here's the thing: is if you grab your script and practice, 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 then you can internalize your discovery questions, internalize your path that you're going to take your consumer down, your client down. And then if you notice how fresh and easy it comes out for Wally, then that will be for you too. Wouldn't you agree, Wally? To practice makes perfect.
You just give me a tie down. That's very nice of you. Yes. Using tie downs on me. Thank you. So yeah, exactly. And the thing is if you use a script that allows you to take somebody down a path, it allows you to control the conversation. It allows you to predict the outcomes and the answers you're going to get from people, right?
Yeah.
One of the best questions in this script, I think, second page. I think it's second page. It says, would you be open to selling your home if you didn't have to put it on the market? Huh? What? How do you do that? Well, I work with a significant number of buyers on a regular basis, and
Right.
there's a strong possibility I'm already working with somebody right now. When would be a good time for me to come over and take a look at your home and see if it matches any of my buyer's criteria?
Man, that's a rock star question.
And
Yeah.
then when you're there, there's all kinds of things you can offer them. You can offer to do a 1-day open house, and let me do an open house for you, or a weekend. Let me do an open house for you this weekend. I'll advertise it in the neighborhood. I'll send an email out to all the real estate agents in the MLS that I have access to, my database. I'll send it to all my buyers. I'll put it on Facebook. I'll put it on Craigslist. And let me see if I can get you a buyer. If I can get you a buyer, would you be willing to pay me a 3% commission? You would, great. Or, You can do a 1-day listing. Say, listen, let me just show you what I'm worth. Give me a day. I'll go ahead and put your home on the market for a day. You know that it's, if you're smart, you'll do it like on a Thursday or a Friday, so
Right.
that you can put it where people are going to be looking for the homes and see if you can drive a stupid number of buyers through the home, you know. Or you can just, you can baby step it and just start the relationship. And let me go ahead. I'll send this to my list of buyers. And then what you do is you go into your database, you create the list, you take a picture of the house before you leave, you create like a quick feature sheet. You send an email to all the people in the database. You BCC them. You BCC the seller's address, and you send them and say, listen, brand new listing, not available to the market, off market opportunity, unique to only you and a few other people. Here's a picture. Here's the information. If you're interested, let me know. And then build some rapport with them. You know what I mean? So lots of things you can do to get the ball rolling and start a relationship with somebody. See, the problem is that up until the advent of inside sales, which really has only been around as a career probably since the turn of the century, 2000s, right? I can say that probably the last
Yeah.
15, 20 years where it became a real, because especially during the downturn in the market between '08 and '07 and 2013,
Oh yeah, that was ugly.
inside sales jobs skyrocketed because not a lot of overhead, didn't have to send anybody anywhere, fly anybody anywhere, could have them do it all over the phone. That's when it really took off. But with the advent of the inside sales job of cultivating relationships and nurturing and all that other stuff over within the last 20 years, this is where we've really seen the value of nurtured leads. If you haven't done any research on nurtured leads, you need to go ahead and do your research, because everything tells you that they spend more money, they buy more easily, they buy faster than if they hadn't been nurtured, all to your benefit. And it's 50% higher conversion rate with nurtured leads. Why wouldn't you go to somebody's house, meet with them, start the relationship, see if you can at least get the ball rolling, and then nurture the crap out of them afterwards,
Mhm. Mhm.
Because most real estate agents aren't going to do that. Most real estate agents are trained for now business only.
Yep.
Telemarketing, pick it up, talk it up, hang it up. Don't do anything after they make that first contact. And then that opportunity eventually or essentially is lost to them.
So if you could define that, would that be one of the biggest mistakes most real estate agents make?
It's the biggest mistake they make as far
Okay.
as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
next to not picking up the phone at all,
Right. Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
the biggest mistake is not calling, I should say. You said the
Now,
biggest mistake is not nurturing leads once you contact them.
yeah, that's where you lose your money. Just like a piggy bank just disappearing. I have a lot of feedback, Wally, on when folks they'll get over the call reluctance, so they'll pick up the phone and then they'll ask maybe they'll do their initial intro, and then the client gives them a little bit of juice back, and then what the next step of the feedback that I get is, what do I say next? And it's like, well, just follow your script, follow your
Yeah.
path. Do you have any thing that you could add on to that?
Yeah, I think you guys provide objection handlers,
We do.
so
Yep.
then just follow the objection handlers. Here's the thing: if you use the script, there's only so many things they can say anyway, right?
Right.
So, if you follow the script, you're limiting what can come up. It's when you don't follow the script where it gets really hairy. I'm
Perfect.
not interested. Okay, I can appreciate that. When you originally clicked on the button to find the value of your home, what were you interested in?
Ooh, that's good. I love that question.
Right? You know?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just flip the script back on them. Yeah.
yeah, that's all it is. Geez, I'm not interested. Okay, great. Well, when you click that button, what exactly were you interested in finding out?
Oh man, I love that. I'm adding that one into
Okay, you know,
my
it's
toolbox.
it's not a good time. Okay, I can appreciate that. When would a good time be? This is
See
from this is
that?
from Al, this is from Al Stasek. You know, what
Yeah.
was
No,
it that
that's
what was it that caused you to decide to get the value of your home to begin with?
yeah. Yeah. 'Cause
These are all open-ended questions, except for
see,
one.
that's what I'm talking about, man. This, you'll have client or agents that will call prospects or suspects and be like, hey, blah blah blah, and then they say, well, I'm not interested. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. And they're just gone.
You just wasted your time.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. Or you're just, we want to wait a while. Okay, I can appreciate that.
Hmm.
Where are you headed? When are you hoping to move there? And the thing is, if you can take parts of some scripts and use them in other scripts, in the circle prospecting script, at the bottom of it, at the very bottom of the second page, there's some questions there. It says, when would you like to see this happen? and then and they tell you and say, what about that time frame is important to you, and then is there anything you could foresee that would allow you to make the move sooner? Is there anything that would prevent you from making the move at all? Those are all lines you can use from that script when somebody says, geez, not a good time. So,
Right.
if you want to, and here's the thing, I'm sure you can hook people up to role play with each other, but, you guys need to like role play the heck out of all these leads, and I'm just going to here's the thing. I mean, Roy said something and he didn't say it intentionally, but the reason that I do this and can't say this is because I go over these scripts and dialogues with somebody every day, or I make calls on behalf of people. You know what I'm saying? So, and as a result of having that level of confidence, there's nothing anybody can say to me on the phone that would jar me or get me off the phone or, keep me from moving forward in a phone call. And because I don't give a rat's butt what people think anyway,
Bulletproof, baby. Yeah,
I just
bulletproof,
keep going
right?
through it. So it doesn't really matter. But that's me. But anybody can be that way if they want to be that way on the phone.
Yep. Yep.
And
I actually practice the same thing, Wally. I don't, whatever people say, they're going to say, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to not allow that to affect my day. Unless I'm getting a positive income, then I'm going to go dong the bell or go play some ping pong or whatever to celebrate. But yeah, it's funny how,
so,
you
yeah,
know,
so let's just do the math. I'm taking my trusty calculator here.
uh-oh.
So a sale out of 43 contacts, it's only, and this is pretty much industry standard, it's only 2.3%. It's a
Okay.
2.3% conversion ratio. Not,
That's,
you know,
yeah,
if I drop it down to 35, which would likely be the lowest,
right. Well, and you're just
that
talking,
would be that would only be a 2.9% conversion rate of 3%. So, here's the thing. It's not, you're not going to do business with everybody. You're not looking to do business with everybody, you know?
no,
And once, when the reason we're able to, because here's the thing, if you take 120 to 1, that's 0.8%, not even a full percent. You know what I'm saying? So it's a huge improvement. In fact, if I do 120 minus 46 divided by 120, it's a 62% increase by going from 120 to 46. It's a 62% increase. You know what I'm saying? So adding nurtures to that helps reduce the number of people you got to contact. And
I'm
but
a, go ahead.
and let me just say one more thing here. So
Yeah,
this is a momentum game, and I've been coaching for a long time, and one of the things that I've learned from people or heard all the time from people when I'm coaching them is that when they start doing the right things in the right order and they start focusing on doing what they're supposed to do, it's almost like business magically appears. And it's not that it magically appears. You just start focusing on doing the right things in the right order.
hmm,
And that's kind of like, what they say, when inspiration meets perspiration, it's luck. That's it. You just start taking action and doing what you need to do. Business will start to pick up for you. But the only way it's going to happen is if you start picking up the phone and making phone calls and get to the point where you don't have to make the phone calls anymore. And, it's just going to happen for you. You just have to do it. You got to tough it out. You got to work your way through it. That's it.
yep. Managing the numbers and just,
Any questions from our beloved guests?
I haven't had any thing pop up, but unfortunately, I'm not
We
able to
know
see
people can
that.
hear us though, right?
Yeah, we've been rocking and rolling, and I've been getting good feedback from the team.
Okay.
So, but no, really, what we've been talking about has been, I think, high value proposition for anybody who's been on the training. And again, everything that we talked about today really has to do with any agent, not just a buyer or seller agent.
Yep.
So it's really mindset, and then I mean, really, that's just a big thing when it comes to it, because I've had that reluctance, and then I've had the reluctance when I get on the phone, and then that fear of success, all of that stuff, and that's that story that we're telling ourselves and then believing and then playing back all over.
So,
But
can we do this? Can we go back to the script and just talk about and I'll crack it open here so I can kind of go down and just talk about what objections they might get at that turn.
sure, that would be great.
And if we can ask anybody, if you're listening in, go ahead and send us the objection. You might get it at each break, and so we can kind of
Let
break
me,
it down for them. So, right. So, hey Bob, great. Hey Bob, it's Wally from SpringfieldHomeValue.com, and the reason I'm calling is that you recently submitted a request about an online home evaluation. Hey Bob, let me know. Let me ask you: are you more interested in a broad range for your home's value, or a specific price that it'll sell for in today's market? So, what you're going to get is I'm not interested. I was only, when they say that I'm not interested, we already talked about that. Say, okay, I can appreciate that. Geez, when you submitted your request, what exactly were you interested in? They would say yes, broad, or yes, specific. Obviously, you can follow the script there. They can say, I was only getting it for the mortgage value. Okay, I can appreciate the mortgage value. So, are you thinking of refinancing? Is that why you wanted to know the mortgage value? So you're thinking of refinancing? Okay, great. And then, you always, and these are just things you have to have in your back pocket. Had you considered selling? Home values are increasing, between 5 and 7% every year. Had you considered selling rather than refinancing? If we could find you a buyer who's willing to pay your price and close at a time acceptable to you, would you be open to selling instead of refinancing? Now, there's a caveat with that offer because you want to make sure that they're not completely ubats with the value they want in their home. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they say, yeah, that'd be great, and their house is worth 300, and they say they want 500, that's not an appointment. That's
yeah.
that's like fairyland. You
Hey,
don't appointment. So you just clarify on that. Go
just
ahead.
interrupt you, Wally. We do have a question from Emily Dorn. And
Emily Dorn.
yes,
Woo-hoo!
and she just asked, how is the best way to approach the second and third contact with a nurture?
Okay, so this is a good question, and there's a strategy called progressive profiling, and basically progressive profiling is the act of building a relationship with somebody through multiple phone calls over an extended period of time, or
Progressive
even
profiling.
or even information you gather from emails, text messages, any contact whatsoever. It's where you literally progressively build a profile about or profile on your prospect. And so let's talk about this. So let's say Emily, let's say Emily's my prospect, and I call her, and I go through the script, and Emily's interested in selling her home, but she's a year away from selling her home. And I find out that Emily's a year away from selling her home because she's getting married, and you know, she and her fiance, are getting married. They want to wait till they get married, and they're not getting married until October or whatever, right? Or let's say it's now, and they want to sell at the end of the year, but they're getting married in October. So I ask her the question, say, okay, well, Emily, that's awesome, congratulations. Where's your honeymoon? Ask them where their honeymoon's going to be. Try and grab some information about the marriage, grab some information about their house. Just capture as much info as I can. There's a strategy that's part of the progressive profiling called OUI, one unique piece of information, OUI. So that my OUI for that call would be the wedding, right? So one unique piece of information, and so I would write the wedding down, and then I would make sure then what you're supposed to do is you set the sale date, the nurture date, if you will, sale date for December 31st, and then because that's the date they said wanted to sell at the end of the year, and then I would set a second call date, and half the time or a little less than half the time. I always go a little less than half the time. When you're early, you're good. When you're late, you can't do anything. So I said a little less than half the time. And I take my notes and I would say, Emily's getting married, waiting for her fiance to get married, getting married in October, going on a honeymoon to Mexico, looking to sell their home, 4-2-2, bingo. Got it, right? So now I got it. So now we're June, so June, July, August, October, November, December, 7 months, right? If I include June, right? So I go back, I go December, November, October, September. So I'll probably call her sometime at the end of August. Emily, how are you? Great, excellent. How are the wedding plans going? Excellent, good. That's great. Are you guys excited? How many guests do you have coming to your wedding? Oh, that's good. When I got married, I had 150 people as guests at my wedding. I had it at a country club. Where are you having your reception? Oh, write that down. Okay, good, awesome. You said you were going to Mexico. Where are you staying? Oh, okay. So you're staying at an all inclusive on the Gulf. Excellent. Awesome. That's great. Cool. Good. Super. Just confirming that you're still thinking of selling at the end of December. Okay, super. Awesome. Hey, listen, there's a restaurant off the mark there. If you've never heard of it before, it's called Tango Wango. They've got creative, Mexican food, and they serve a worm with every meal. Go check it out. Great. Bingo. Listen, Emily, if you need anything or if anything changes, please let me know. Hey, did you get my card? I sent you a handwritten on my business card. You did okay, super. You getting the market updates? You are okay, super. Awesome, great, thanks. October.
Boom.
October. Emily, hey, you're getting married next week. I just wanted to call and wish you good luck. Hope your wedding goes well. Hope you have a great vacation. Don't get too much sun. But make sure you get a lot of tequila when you're in Mexico. Hope you have a good time. Enjoy your honeymoon. Okay? Even if she doesn't answer, leave that voicemail.
Yeah.
October, November, mid-November. Emily, Wally, how you doing? How's everything going? How was your wedding? How was your honeymoon? Tell me all about it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? You said you wanted to get your home sold at the end of December. If you want to do that, you need to start thinking about that now, and here's why. Um, what I'd like to do is I'd like to come over and take a look at your home. I can give you the value on your home. While I'm there, I can tell you what to do, and more importantly, what not to do to get the most amount of money for your home. Then I can also go over all the costs and fees associated with getting your home sold, so you know exactly how much you'll need to walk away with at closing. When would be a good time for us to get together?
Done deal.
That's it, right? And in the meantime, Emma's getting updates from me on market updates. She got a handwritten note. She may have gotten a text from me, and I've stayed in touch with her, and I've remembered all kinds of stuff about her, and every phone call brought up something related to that, and we're now friends. So basically, it's like we had a 1 hour conversation over 6 months.
That's rock star. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Makes
That's
sense?
yeah, that's golden stuff there.
So,
Thanks for the question, Emily, because that really I think helped a lot of folks, realize that there actually does still need to be a process in place, even when they are nurturers, and a deliberate and purposeful process. So you're as Wally was doing, building more and more and information in the lead profile, so that when he spoke to her, it's like, hey, I know all about you because we're friends. So. Well, I love it. It's been a great training with Wally. I'm just tickled pink that I got to do this with you today, Wally. So,
likewise. So
yes,
next
sir.
Thursday, same bad time, same bad
Yes,
channel.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, everybody, we really appreciate you today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up, and
Hold
we'll
on.
see you next week. I think Wally's got
Yeah.
a
So,
closing thought.
I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and submit any questions that you didn't get a chance to submit today, and submit them, they'll get them over to me, and I'll answer them, and I can send them back. Okay.
Most definitely, and I do know that I'm pretty confident that you may have some openings for some coaching as well. So if anybody's
Yep.
interested in that, please definitely hit Wally up,
Appreciate
or
that.
you can get a hold of myself, and I'll get you over to Wally. So
Thank you,
hope you
guys.
guys have a great day. Thanks a lot again, Wally. You're awesome, and
Likewise. You
we'll
are
see you
too.
all soon.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Take care.